1. Hello, everybody. You know me. Okay, no, you don't, but you know who I am. I'm Issa J, and alongside me is
Your Smarky Wrestling Alliance World Heavyweight Champion of Picking Things, Liam Landry.
yes, and we're back. We're finally back.
And better than ever.
Heck yeah. And
You know what that's a reference to?
Not really.
That's Eric. That was one of Eric Bischoff's theme.
Oh,
That's how it's
okay.
done. I'm back and better than ever. So after I heard that, that's the only thing. That's the only thing my mind can ever go to when I'm here. I'm back. Or we're back.
Gotcha. But yeah, we are here as our 40th episode, which is pretty cool.
We're getting quite close to our show's midlife crisis.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
How was your week, Liam?
Episode 50 is going to be Don Ball driving in a convertible.
Just wait till we get to episode 69.
I replaced DJ with a hot blonde. Oh, we're going to get Ryusuke Taguchi to make an appearance?
Yes. We're going to at least attempt to.
we're gonna get to episode 68, and then we're gonna go on a hiatus for a few years until we can get to do an interview. 5 years later, episode 69.
We did it. It's Ryusuke yes. Or we just get a cardboard cutout and put him in the background.
Yes.
But
a cutout of his back to get the funky weapon.
Exactly.
And that's the only thing we show of him.
100%.
Yes.
But yeah, so how was your couple weeks, good sir?
It's been pretty good. Work's been slow, so it was that. But had some family come in, so it was nice to see them. Try to do some stuff around the house, but I was trying to do some this weekend. But as I told you before, I hurt my back. It's gotten real stiff, so I can't really move too much. So that was a real bummer. But I have some time off coming up, so
that's good.
Hopefully I can pull that around and do what I wanted to do later this week. But how about you?
It's just basically been, for the most part, a lot of work. We got a couple people quit on us, so I had the sucky morning shifts all week, so that wasn't fun. And then on Father's Day, we went to my mama's and spent a lot of the day out there with them, ate lunch and stuff. Wanted to come out here, but it was just a lot of stuff leading to where it couldn't happen, unfortunately. But hey, we're here now, we're back, and we're gonna have a good time. After we get past this one unfortunate piece of news, Lionheart from the British wrestling scene unfortunately passed away a couple of days ago. If you follow a lot of British wrestlers, like I do, and I think you do as well, or not so much British wrestlers, but people in the British wrestling scene, they've been talking about it quite a bit. The two posts that I saw that was the most was Jim Louise from Cultaholic and ICW.
Genocide.
Yes, and Joe Hendry, the wrestler from Scotland. And they both definitely took it to heart, no pun intended. But yeah, so whenever a death like this happens, we like to do a 5-second moment of silence in honor of what they brought to the industry, so we're going to do that now. Do you know anything about the man?
No, I don't have that much of a detailed knowledge of the British wrestling scene.
Yeah, I'm fairly sure I've only seen one match he was involved with, which was a tag match that he was in with Joe Hendry. So I don't know a lot about him either, but from everything that I saw and everything that I continue to see through other podcasts and tweets and stuff about the man, he was very well loved in the industry, especially when the British wrestling scene was not as booming as it is currently, which it's sad and it's tough, but we wish all the best to his friends and family. Our prayers go out to them, and our condolences.
Yeah, so you got a nice tweet from The Rock. Did you see that one?
Oh, I missed that one.
Yeah, but someone tweeted at him a picture. Well, I think it was from a tweet that he took initially when he took a picture with The Rock's star on the Walk of Fame. But he said it's probably the closest he's going to get to him. And someone tweeted that at him and saying that he was a wrestler and he was a big fan. And he was sad that he never got to meet him. So The Rock responded back to him and his family. So it was very nice of him to do that.
Yeah, that is very nice.
Especially a busy guy like The Rock, you know how many movies he puts out.
Yeah, that man is a behemoth in the Hollywood world right now. But yeah, so
both figuratively and literally at times.
yeah, right.
Massive size.
He has a new movie coming out with his cousin as well, Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was nice that he took the time out to for his family.
Yeah. And it's a shame that Lionheart never got to meet him. Any famous wrestler out right now that you got to meet that you're like super excited and happy you did get to meet?
Well, I already told you about it, Pentagon Jr.
Yeah.
I may have said it on the podcast before time too, but I got to meet him. That was a big deal for me.
Yeah. And now, I was like in a Chalmette indie show that isn't very well known, but he still took the time to go out there, and now look where he is today. He's in a new booming promotion. He's doing so much in I think AAA. He's a tag champion over there again.
One of the back. I mean to be fair, he probably does like 40 shows a week. He's all over the place.
Yeah.
Not even just AAA. I don't know if they ever got around, but I know they wanted to do CMLL as well because he also wants to use that to get into New Japan because he wants to work there.
It'd be interesting to see if he's able to get there.
I'm sure he will eventually.
Yeah. And then
We think Pentagon Jr. versus Minoru Suzuki.
Ooh. I feel pain going all through my body right now.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I know why. I'm trying to think of any famous wrestlers I've actually ever met. I got to sit into a panel with Finn Balor
and Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
I saw Jim Duggan. That was one year I got to see the.
Yeah, I was actually with Baby Balor too. If people remember that.
Yeah, Baby Balor.
As the.
That was an interesting moment to see. Is the kid was crying. He was just obviously Finn Balor is this kid's hero, and then being able to meet him and wondering about his arm, if he's okay and stuff. It was heart touching.
Yeah, that was just pretty good too because you got to be at the ground zero of an internet meme. It's like that's not always something that you can be at. That's something special too.
Yeah, a lot of specialty there. And of course, Jim Duggan, like I said, Dallas Twins at one time, AJ Lee. But all of those were just in passing or away. Never actually got to. All the wrestlers that I shook hands with was at the indie event that I went with you. Never really had to talk to anybody before. So.
Yeah, both times we really couldn't afford to go to the Access when the WrestleMania came down here.
Yeah. Hopefully they come back.
Hopefully we get some to come to Wizard World. I know they come to some.
Yeah,
Wizard Worlds, but
I haven't been here like the last 3 years though.
Because that's why the panel that you saw was at Wizard World. But yeah, they haven't been coming down the last few years.
Hopefully they get someone. Because it's a lot more fun being able to see wrestlers and stuff. But what's the I had something but I lost it. Oh well. I had to do with indie wrestling? Doesn't matter. Anyways, so yeah, let's jump right into the show proper and talk about the news outside of WWE. It's our first segment. And it is exactly how it sounds, where we talk about the news that's happening outside of WWE, and we have quite a bit today.
Yeah.
We've been out for a couple weeks, so we have to catch up. So let's start it off.
Let's start off with some news from Japan.
All right.
We have the G1 Climax, number 29, 29th Climax they had. We have the blocks laid out. We have in block A, Kazuchika Okada from Chaos, Zack Sabre Jr. from Suzuki-gun, Hiroshi Tanahashi from Ryusuke Japan, Taguchi Japan, Kota Ibushi from Floating Around, basically. I know he's worked with Taguchi Japan, so I guess we could call him in part of that. Evil from LIJ, Sonata also from LIJ, and Evil's tag partner. Bad Luck Fale from Bullet Club, Lance Archer from Suzuki-gun, Will Ospreay from Chaos, and Kenta, who has no allegiance right now.
Yeah, it was one of the most random, surprising moments in New Japan this past Dominion.
And they're selling a T-shirt too. I saw the advertisements, the Takeover one.
Okay.
So
wait, New Japan is selling that T-shirt?
That's part of their official merchandise.
That is great.
Yeah. And then Block B, and that's actually we can also say that's Kenta is going to make his debut. One of quite a few. Will Ospreay is also going to make his G1 debut. Kenta is going to make his full-on in-ring debut at G1 as well. And since that is Block A, that's going to be a part of the Dallas show. So
that's going to be quite a good show in a couple weeks. I'm excited.
Then we got in Block B, we got Tetsuya Naito from LIJ, Tomohiro Ishii from Chaos, Juice Robinson from Taguchi Japan, Toru Yano from Chaos, Hiroki Goto from Chaos, Jay White from Bullet Club, Jeff Cobb, he's from ROH, but he's also fought with Taguchi Japan, so you can also put him in with that. Shingo Takagi from LIJ, Taichi from Suzuki-gun, and Jon Moxley as independent guy.
Yeah, he's basically Kenta, but in Block B.
Yeah.
Only when it comes to allegiances and stuff.
Yeah, and also the fact that it is going to be his G1 debut as well. First time in the G1. Jeff Cobb, it will be his first time in the G1 as well. I believe, I may be wrong here, but I believe Taichi may also be his first time in the G1.
And Shingo Takagi, his first time.
Yes, Shingo that's also be his first time in G1.
There's a lot of firsts this year.
Yeah, it is a lot of firsts this year. So compared to last year, we are losing a few like Kenny Omega, a big name there. Minoru Suzuki, who's so far not in it. He's kind of he's having a storyline where he wants to really be in there, but I don't think he's going to be in there. We also don't have Hangman Page or Michael Elgin. Three of those guys just because they up and left, but those were some big names, but I think they pulled off and have an overall stronger, because I think when you really look at it, I think you add in Kenta, Ospreay, Takagi, Moxley, Taichi, and even a few other guys that weren't in it last year that's in now.
Of course, the other one you told me about, Yoshihashi, having a storyline of trying to get in as well. We don't have him either.
Yeah.
So
because he was there last year and he's not this year. So.
Yeah.
So I think overall it's still a pretty.
Overall it's still an amazing card with a lot of potential.
I mean, it's always difficult to lose someone like an Omega, but I think they still pull it off with a lot of great talent here.
Even though you lost someone like Omega, you still have basically the guy who's, in a sense, becoming the new Omega with Will Ospreay. You have Shingo Takagi with his own storyline saying that junior heavyweights can be just as good as heavyweights, and he's going to show the world something new. Yeah. Also,
that's interesting because that's him and Ospreay both doing that. So
yeah. And then, there's just so many potential great matchups there in each card that even though the favorites right now is Kota Ibushi and Tetsuya Naito, doesn't necessarily mean that's what the outcome's gonna be.
Yeah, I mean, you can never know for sure, especially with the way they build up some people. And definitely, I'll get into one later on in another segment. But like when it comes down, it's also interesting to see a real representation from Bullet Club. You only have Jay White and Bad Luck Fale.
Yeah, and each on a different
each on a different block. Yeah,
I think a lot of
there's literally as many independent as Bullet Club.
Yeah, so. And then if you look at the best of the Super Juniors, you had Bone Soldier, Taiji Ishimori there. You had
El Phantasmo and Bobby Eagles.
Yeah,
they were all three of them in. So there's a lot more Super Juniors, I guess you can say.
Yeah, there's a lot more junior heavyweights than that super heavyweights right now.
I mean,
which is really interesting.
Yeah, we'll definitely know we're going to see Guerrillas of Destiny in the tag team tournament later this year. So I mean, I think both of them I think were in there last year, both the brothers.
Yeah, they were. I remember that because they had a whole storyline with Bad Luck Fale.
Yeah, that's interesting there. I actually saw something. I guess they must have just got it wrong when you said, but Jack, when he was going over, he was talking about how Minoru Suzuki wasn't going to be in there, but they were just going to have two other guys from Suzuki-gun in there. I feel he must have left off Lance Archer, because there's actually three.
Yeah.
Lance, Zach.
When you said Lance Archer was part of Suzuki-gun, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. So he might have slipped his mind.
Yeah, because it's been a while since he's part of Killer Elite Squad.
Okay.
The last major thing they did was probably that tournament before Wrestle Kingdom. And then before that, it was the tag tournament. Yeah. And that's the tag team he's in with Davey Boy Smith Jr.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But they are members of Suzuki-gun still, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I want to make sure you get that representation.
The least is... But I'm super excited to see Okada versus... what's his name? Will Ospreay. Both Chaos members going at it. I think that's going to be really, really good. Not in the way that Chaos member Jay White last year versus Okada before he betrayed him, but a more of a respect.
Do you think he's going to not respect him and go?
Let's hope not. Let's hope not, because that would be really upsetting. Yeah, so a lot of potential match of the year candidates with just not without even seeing a match yet.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
I mean, Will Ospreay's already had a lot of match of the year contenders from the best of the Super Juniors. That's he should be an easy shoe-in for most groups, like best wrestler of the year awards. I would assume already from that point, especially what he's going to do in the G1.
And because Kenny Omega took a lot of time off to do all of the stuff for AEW,
all elite stuff, he's not doing as many matches. So
that just put Will Ospreay in his position where he was having match of the year matches. Now Will Ospreay's doing it, and I kind of was like, yeah, he's the new Kenny Omega for New Japan is going to be Will Ospreay. Like it's that transition's already happened. A lot of people were like, oh, it's Jay White. No, it's not Jay White. It's definitely Will Ospreay.
Do you go and watch? Have you ever watched like Drax, the best wrestler of the week?
I haven't.
Yeah, it's always like the thing when he goes like when Ospreay is number one, he's like, okay, listen guys, sorry, but he had the best matches of the week. It's because everyone just kept ragging on him for always putting Ospreay at the best wrestler of the week. And it's like he must have already had a lot of that already.
I know that happened to Jack the Jobber too early on in his show as well.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
Jack's best wrestler of the week.
Oh,
he's saying like
I heard
he's always putting it Ospreay as number one, so I'm sure he must have already put him there quite a bit.
Drax, And I was like, oh, there's a wrestling guy named Drax.
Drax the Destroyer, best wrestler of the week.
Listen, God. Batista as Drax doing that would be funny. But yeah, so to wrap this piece of news up, great card, great brackets, great blocks. We are looking forward to Best of the Super Juniors. 9 matches each. 9 matches each block. Winners of each block then face each other. Winner after that gets to go to Wrestle Kingdom 2020. Probably day number 2. So it's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be really cool.
You can see some fun stuff like Yano versus Moxley. I can find that be.
That should
be some fun things happening. They get real creative there. Or like Ishii versus Moxley should be entertaining as well. I know one of the
versus
ones,
Okada. Those flagship guys going at it would be like whoever ends up winning that match.
I remember one
unless they go for a draw, you know.
I don't remember if it was in the list or not, but it's one from Jack's video about once he's anticipating. He said Ishii versus Jeff Cobb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they did actually have a match against each other at Rev Pro. No, it wasn't even Rev Pro. It was another British promotion.
Okay.
Insane Championship Wrestling, probably. That's the only one I ever really seen a lot of. But that was pretty good then, so it'd probably be even better for the G1.
Yeah.
So it should be good, yeah. But yeah, did you have anything else to say other than you know, it'd be
we're looking forward to
highly anticipated card?
Not anything right now. I'm gonna have to wait until it starts off proper.
Yeah, and see what storylines come in. I
and
think
this time I won't watch the tag matches. I'll just skip that.
Yeah, and I believe from listening to this in commentary from the New Japan this past week, it sounds like Rocky may be coming back to the commentary team with Kevin
sweet.
Kelly, and I really like that duo, so it'd be good to see him again.
Because he was actually in the Best of the Super Juniors, so that's why he wasn't in the commentary
And
team.
Kazuniro, I don't think he's in this tour.
Oh,
He
okay.
hasn't shown. He wasn't brought in for it.
And also speaking about Will Ospreay in New Japan, he moved there. I think we talked about that a couple weeks back. But
Yeah.
That's really cool. He's going to be doing a lot more in that company.
Yeah, he just talked about it during the Best of the Super Juniors final. Which could even make him more like Kenny Omega, because Omega was living in New Japan. Well, was living in Japan. It'd be difficult to live inside New Japan.
Yeah.
They open the dojo doors and it's like Kenny's just like,
Kenny, what are you doing? Get out of the ring. Why? This is my home, man.
It's like sleeping there, cuddling a Kirby doll that has like the picture of Kota Ibushi's face on it.
And then cuddling him, Tetsuya Naito, because he would also be one who would just live at the dome, the dojo, and be like, Tetsuya, why are you here too? It's tranquilo, man. Spending money just to live, that's ridiculous. That's not tranquilo.
I spent all my money is on tearaway suits. Well, it's actually he spends all his money on suits. They're not even tearaway. That's why he has to keep buying more of them. He just rips the expensive suits off his body. That's where all his money goes to.
His tailor is probably really angry at him, but yet really happy he keeps getting money.
Yeah, I wonder if he gets someone else to do that. I know Cesaro actually sewed his own. You remember when he was doing that whole tearing off his suit? He actually sewed that together for himself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so moving on to the next one, we're going to talk about
Give it into some less cool stuff. With not Scorpio Sky.
Not Scorpio Sky, Scarlett Bordeaux. And so let's start off with the good here. She's been trying to get out of her Impact contract because it hasn't been good, and she is free. She is no longer signed with Impact Wrestling, so it'll be really interesting to see where she goes from here. But also, Killer Cross, also he was released from his contract as well, and apparently through some podcast interviews, he opened up about just how bad pay is over there. Even though they have a lot of great talent and stuff, they're not really paying them all that well. Impact Wrestling told him to get a job in order to make more money to sustain his family. That's bad. Scarlett Bordeaux was working a 9 to 5, allegedly, in order to make ends meet while still under contract with Impact. That's a problem. But to be even more so upsetting about all of this, when she was in a wrestling match with, don't know who she was wrestling against, and who the masked lady was, she did a dive, and she was cheering, and the guy tried to pull her, and I've seen the video quite a few times because it's on repeat and stuff. The first time, my mind is just in complete disbelief that someone would pull someone's arm back just to try to give them a hug. It is disgusting, and it's great that the masked wrestler was there to get her away from that situation, because it could have been a lot worse.
Well, to give a hug might be taking it too nicely there. But
yeah,
like he was just trying to cop a feel.
It was just uncomfortable viewing. Did you see the video?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very uncomfortable viewing, and did not like it. So we definitely hope the best for both Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux. Any thoughts on this?
No, just hope that she has a brighter future,
Mm-hmm.
and that people control their drinking at events, wrestling events like that.
Totally. So, quick question, because it has to be asked. With all this coming out, like all this information coming out and coming out to light about Impact Wrestling, does that put them in kind of a sticky situation where now people are like, oh, we want to sign you. Oh, you don't really pay us to do this. I don't think I want to be signed by you.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad road to be down. They've been there before, back when Jeff Jarrett was more in management.
Mm-hmm.
And people have said that's something that runs in his family because his father was like that with his promotion.
Wow.
And it's a terrible thing, but
Mm-hmm.
it always kind of depends, because there's a lot of times when that just happens with just bad, shitty management.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think a lot of people have started the stories of ECW and how long it took for people to get paid.
Yeah,
From doing that.
apparently Paul Heyman had to go bankrupt and then sell secretly a bankrupt promotion to WWE, which is crazy.
Mhm.
But that just gives a lot of worry for that promotion.
Mhm.
A promotion that came in and everyone was like, oh, they're competing with WWE, they're going to take down WWE. And year by year, it was proven, no, they are not.
It's poor management in there, and them putting them in such a awkward situation with the channel they're on and everything.
Mhm.
It's not even good. I think, was it last week or something, they had a situation where the people at the studio played the last week's episode of Impact instead of the new one. So they just played the wrong Impact.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it's like, what can you do in situations like that? And they're there because
Twitch is enough.
and they're there because the company that owns them
Mm-hmm.
is a partnership with that channel. So it seems like it's good. So I'm just hoping for the best for the wrestlers involved in there.
Yeah, we see a lot of things happening already. Obviously, Sami Callihan can go any and everywhere because he is a hot commodity. But guys like Lucha Brothers, they left probably immediately after their contract with Lucha Underground was up.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had obviously Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux. And then a few more. Tommy Dreamer I don't know if he's still with them, doing stuff with them, because we saw him at an All Elite show.
I mean, I think he just goes around.
Okay.
That ain't anyone offering a paycheck.
So yeah, it'd be interesting to see where their future holds, and we will keep an eye on that for everybody.
And also, they're not trying to bash Tommy Dreamer when saying that. I'm just saying that he's just.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that he, like anyone, if the money is good, why wouldn't he go wrestle? You know?
Right.
So I mean, I've seen him in so many different situations, so many different places. From his own promotion to AEW, MLW, Impact.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone's gonna stop him from going out and wrestling and do what he wants to and getting paid for it. So.
Right.
So let's all hope for the best for the wrestlers.
100%, especially since there's a bunch of them there that we actually do like Johnny Mundo, Johnny Impact, or Tessa Blanchard, Rich Swann, a few more as well.
At least most of them don't seem to be have exclusive contracts, so that's good that they can get paid elsewhere.
Yeah. So again, like you said, looking forward to the best. Let's move on to the next bit, Wrestling Circus. Stomping Ground is this week for WWE, but if you're sick and tired of WWE shenanigans, there is an alternative, and it is from Wrestling Circus. It'll be free to everyone on Twitch. So let's run down the card and see if you guys are interested in any of this.
First off, we're going to have their championship match. They call their championship the Ringmaster Championship between champion Scorpio Sky versus Tessa Blanchard. So an intergender match there. We're going to have a match, a four-way between Aerostar, Daga, Teddy Hart, and Myron Reed. I need to get the first name there. We're going to have a match between Orange Cassidy and Avalon. There's going to be a tag team three-way match between the Rascals, the Regals, and Private Party. There's going to be a match between Delaney versus a mystery opponent. And there's going to be a match with All Day and Gracia versus Green and Scarlett Bordeaux. So she's at least getting a match there. There's also another match between for the Sideshow Championship, which is their mid-card championship, with champion Gentleman Jarvis versus Sami Callihan. So sounds like a real interesting card there. It's a nice good mix between serious wrestling and some comedy guys. This should have some fun stuff between Jarvis and Sami Callihan with the conflicting personality.
Yeah, that should be very interesting. And Orange Cassidy doing his thing against, I think, a serious wrestler, but I'm not entirely sure who the other guy is. Him versus serious wrestler is actually really funny. When he just randomly showed up, he jumped the crowd and showed up and just started kicking with his furious kicks to Tommy Dreamer. The crowd was loving it, and it was interesting.
So they had a match with him and Sessions Martina versus Tess versus with Jordan Grace and Brian Cage. That'd be
a very interesting one there.
Yeah, that was a very fun one.
And then I know you told me about.
I know there was a point where Sessions Moth was like Jordan was on the outside. Sessions Moth was running back and forth. Like she looked like she was about to die, but just kept running back and forth until she tired herself out and was laying in the middle of the ring. And then Orange Cassidy came in and gave her a beer to revive her.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, see that's what I was saying. Like it wouldn't. I don't know how it's gonna work if she goes to NXT UK.
Yeah. And then.
I'm not saying people can't change gimmicks and stuff, but it seems like it's not a PG gimmick.
No, not at all.
And that you would lose something in that turnaround.
And then, I know you told me a lot about Orange Cassidy versus the superhero dude.
Was it Dick Justice?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then and Swamp Thing.
Yeah, the Swamp Thing interfered to save Orange Cassidy.
So he likes to do a lot of funny stuff, which actually hoping he gets to do a lot more in AEW as well. But yeah, so that sounds like a very fun card.
Yeah, it seems like a good mix of stuff, very entertaining. Scorpio Sky versus Tessa Blanchard should be a good traditional wrestling match. That Fatal
Scorpio Sky versus that just seems like a very interesting competition right there.
The Fatal 4-Way seemed good.
That one, I might have to go on Twitch just to check that one out, because that one seems like it'd be a fun match to watch.
Saw a little bit of Private Party at the Battle Royal.
Those dudes can leap.
Yeah, they had the good tag team skills.
So yeah, and then also Gentleman Jervis. He's funny. He's really funny. So
yeah, just too bad we're gonna be doing a live stream for Stomping Grounds instead, but we'll definitely probably come back to watch it.
So yeah, let's move on to a record-breaking piece of news, and their show coming up next Saturday, or this Saturday even, AEW. Everyone knows August 31st, 30th, whatever that Saturday is. Everyone knows that in August, towards the end, there is the sequel, the proper sequel to All In, which is All Out, held in Chicago. Guess what, though? We won't be going. Not because we don't want to, not because we don't have the money for the travel and stuff.
It's because we're banned from entering Chicago.
We're too much of smarts.
Yes.
Which is ironic.
Even for Chicago.
Exactly.
But no. Banned us himself.
But actually, they're sold out. And they sold out in like 30 minutes.
They all sold out.
So All Out, sold out. And not in a bad way at all. That is great news. Because, no, it's not competition just yet for WWE. But it's proven that it could be. And if they keep selling out like this in these little venues, and then people get turned on to their product once it hits TNT, that's going to be huge.
The real thing, though, too, is the amount of attention it's gotten. According to most reports from a Wrestling Observer, who's reporting from other ticket sites and people who were like expert in the ticket game, said that this was the most. What I'm trying to say, it was the most activity around wrestling ticket sales in years.
Wow.
Basically, they had a waiting room scenario set up to where you had to go into and be in the waiting room, and it would tell you the number of people ahead of you. At some points, it got to about people going in there and seeing 70,000 people ahead of them. And since an individual person that's going to buy just one ticket, they could have easily gone over 100,000 if needed.
And then that's not including the people who have bought 2, 3, or 4 tickets.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying, like with the 70,000, the people buying multiple tickets. So it's could have gone well over if needed to. And I could understand people would be pointing out that some people could be going through on multiple devices, though that wouldn't necessarily seem practical if you already got on and it's like 50,000 people ahead of you with a 10,000 seated arena. I thought you're going to stop trying, going to keep trying, but...
Yeah, it's big news, and
because of course people
looking forward to it.
Because of course people are harassing people, especially Dave Meltzer, on the idea that that's all scalpers buying it. And it's like, you looked at it and it's like, go onto the resale sites. There's like a few hundred on the resale sites. So out of 10,000, you only have a few hundred being bought up by scalpers. That's really good, because most most things will have more scalpers behind it
Yeah.
and have a much higher resale, but
Not this show.
the people are saying that he's in the pocket, even though they're doing this because they were saying how Dave Meltzer said that no indie event could sell 10,000 tickets.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently he must be in the bag for them and always promoting them and telling them how good they are. And it's like, I mean, you can't have it both ways.
Right.
He went and admitted that he's wrong and said that they've could definitely do more than 10,000.
Yeah, and I can't wait for the day that they do. And, so, do you think they're going to do another jab at WWE here and be like, oh, we sold out at 80,000. We round up.
We set a new record at 7 billion tickets sold.
Oh my gosh, the records just keep coming. But yeah, we are super happy. And this Saturday, there is a card of wrestling about to happen.
Take a real jab and be like, we invented tag team wrestling.
This card is for Fyter Fest. It's happening this Saturday, July 29th. I don't know what time it's going to go down because there's still no set time on here yet. So I just have to I'll go to Bleacher Report and find that.
Yeah, it's that's going to be free in the US.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think globally it's around $10. I think in the UK it's about like $9, like $8.99. And then in Ireland I think it's like $8.24 or something like that.
And that's basically the price for all of the content for a month for WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't bad.
Yeah.
So
as you can guess, it's a lot more value. Stomping grounds, not stomping grounds.
Alright, so let's go down this card, shall we? We have Michael Nakazawa versus Alex Jabali in a hardcore match. We only got to see Nakazawa very briefly in the Battle Royale. He's
and also in
definitely
his backstage segment.
and he's definitely a comedic wrestler, more so than a serious one. So it'd be interesting to see him in a hardcore stipulation match. I have no idea. I have no knowledge about Alex Jabali at all. Do you?
No.
So
That would be
someone new.
that would be a new name. It wasn't in Battle Royale.
Then we get to see Cody Rhodes versus Darby Allin in a singles match. That name sounds familiar, but I don't think I remember who Darby Allin is.
That big guy in the British suit.
Okay.
He has half a skull face, like a painted skull face. Maybe you've seen his picture.
Okay, that rings a bell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that should be an interesting match to see.
Yeah, I haven't seen him, so it'd be a good way to say. I heard that he's really good at storytelling, so these guys should mesh really well.
Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, so it should mesh really well.
Mm-hmm. So interesting.
Apparently had a really good match against John Moxley, like maybe last week or earlier this week. And Moxley afterward, he got on the mic and said that he's going to be the future of wrestling. So
that's a really big statement right there. So looking forward to that one. Then we have the Elite, represented by Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, versus the Lucha Brothers, which is Pentagon Jr. or El Pentazero M, whichever one he's going by, and Rey Fenix, with Laredo Kid. I know everyone but Laredo Kid.
Yeah, it's going to be his debut for All Elite Wrestling.
Okay.
I'm sure another Mexican luchador. I'm guessing when paired with them, he must have similar styles.
And he is definitely a luchador.
Unlike another.
This is his max.
Unlike another company, they're not just going to pair people because they're from the same country.
Well, the Lucha House Party, it's really annoying because a lot of people are saying, oh, and he's beating up a bunch of Mexicans. Then say Dorado is from Puerto Rico. He's not Mexican.
Yeah.
And the other guy, he may have Mexican heritage, but he's from Detroit. Kalisto.
And I did call that too when I said when they bring up Cara saying she's going to be teamed up with Asuka.
And it happened.
They were. It doesn't even make sense. Like, at least with EO, they were part of the same company.
That,
They
part
were
of the same
both part of
company,
the stock
and they already had a really good name with the Sky Pirates. The Kabuki Warriors is. I heard that name and I just facepalmed. Oh man. And then we have John Moxley versus.
At least it made more sense it was Kabuki Pirates, don't you think?
Probably, because the best pirate known to man, Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane's the pirate side, and then Asuka wears the Kabuki mask. So with Kabuki Pirates, the Kabuki Experience.
That's too.
See, so we got off gently. Should be thankful.
Making sense is not WWE's forte. We already know this.
Okay,
we already made a joke.
We're getting too far off.
We are.
Yeah.
John Moxley versus Joey Janela in the biggest hardcore regular match we've ever seen, most likely.
Well, I'm sure it's gonna break down though.
It should, because both of these guys are hardcore legends. Them not in a death match makes no sense. But it'd be interesting to see if they actually go with a normal everyday match. It'd make it'd basically be George R.R. Martin's wrestling show. It's like, oh, these two hardcore legends, they're just gonna have a regular match.
Did you see the video, the backstage, like the stuff that it was intentionally filmed, like the vignette for like the setup for this, where it's like Moxley was just like backstage and he turns around, Joey Janela's there and is like dragging home. It's like, hey.
No, I missed that.
You just couldn't wait to have a match with him.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, and then we have a four-way match with Adam Page, Jimmy Havoc, Jungle Boy, and MJF. This should be a really fun match. I think this is going to be one of those matches that is just going to explode with greatness. Adam Page is going to be facing Mr. Chris Jericho in the championship match to crown the inaugural AEW Heavyweight Champion at All Out. So it's going to be really cool to see him against these three. Jimmy Havoc, another deathmatch legend. Jungle Boy spiked Joey Janela in his face, which was so hard to watch, but so cool as well. And MJF, who people are already saying is the future for heel wrestling, which is really cool. I'm looking forward to this one. Christopher Daniels versus Chima in a singles match. Both of these guys went at it at the
Double or Nothing. Part of the 6-man tag.
So it'd be cool to see them isolated. Nyla Rose versus Riho versus Yuka Sakazaki in a triple threat.
Which, who knows, it could always expand.
Very true. They could have Austin Long
that'll
or
be her
someone else.
that'll be her Teddy Long. It's like, holla holla player, I'm gonna make this a 4-way.
And then Yuka Sakazaki, for me, was a standout performer. Moves around the ring so bloody well. Riho also really good. Can't wait to see them in action some more. Then we have a 3-way tag team match. The winners here get a chance to go to All Out to get a first round bye in the new tournament. Because apparently the first episode of this show on TNT is going to be a part of a massive tournament for the tag team championships. That's pretty big. And apparently this is going to be on the pre-show. So this massive match gets to be seen by everyone for free, which is awesome.
You like as a fan of tag team wrestling.
And then we have, I'm excited for this one because we know when it comes to tag team, I'm the biggest fan of that. Because you can do so much more. I think the reason why I like tag team wrestling the most is because you have the opportunity to do even more spot monkey stuff without it being so stilted. We saw with the super combos from Strong Hearts which was really cool. But yeah, let's go down to these guys. We have the best friends, which is Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta. SoCal Uncensored, which is going to be Scorpio Sky and Frankie Kazarian, since the other guy, Christopher Daniels, is going to be facing Chima. And Private Party, which is Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Keen. I'm just going to call him Mark. Anyways, yeah, so that's going to be really cool.
I'm just going to call him Marky Mark.
And then the final match is a singles match. And it's going to have Leva Bates with Peter Avalon versus Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray, who some people call the Better Bailey, which is interesting. But yeah, that's going to be a lot of fun stuff here. And 3 matches that I'm just looking absolutely forward to. And same with you. We're excited for this one.
Mm-hmm.
Next week, we get to go to Blue Bayou, which is a water park down in Louisiana. We're going to have some fun. We're going to then come back, watch an amazing show for free. It's going to be a great weekend. And then the next month in July is going to have Fight for the Fallen. And there's already 3 matches there. Brandy Rose versus Ali. That's interesting. Kenny Omega versus Chima. That should be fun. And then Cody and Dustin versus the Young Bucks. So, and then that's just the beginning of this card. And who knows what that show is going to be like. Is it going to be free? Is it going to be... I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm excited for it. Any final thoughts on the card?
No, just something that sounds exciting.
Mm-hmm. Alright, let's move on to the next segment, which is the news inside of the WWE. We have less news and less to talk about. But let's go off with the saddest of newses. What's his name? Lars Sullivan. Apparently was working injured for a couple weeks. Got re-injured on Raw, so now he'll be out for quite some time. They thought it was going to be not so bad of an injury. Turns out it's a very big one. So a lot of the times it's a tragedy, and it is a tragedy. I'm not going to say this was good, or because it's definitely not. However, I will say with his controversy that happened, it'll at least give people time to forget about that, so that way when he does come back, he can be a little bit different. He can be received a little bit better. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to add. I think you got
Mm-hmm.
my feelings on it as well. To go into more happier news,
Mhm.
we had some weddings in this week. That's
Yeah.
great to see love prospering, and also they weren't on the show, so that's good. That means they'll last longer. You know? We had Drake Maverick
Mhm.
marrying his wife, which got sadly interrupted by R-Truth winning back his 24/7 rule, which is good on them there. I didn't think they would. I didn't think they were gonna go with that route. I was hoping they were gonna go with something. I thought it would actually been a little funnier. I was thinking that they'd be like his bachelor party. They had like a
Mhm.
giant cake come, and he just like R-Truth pops out of it with a ref inside of it as well, and he pins. Like someone pins him.
That would have been funny. Or they're like, oh, obviously they wouldn't do this at this time era, but they have it's like, oh, we got you a dancer, and the person comes out dressed as a woman, but it's obviously R-Truth, and he ends up doing, I don't even know what his finishing move is called, but he ends up doing that instead of the dance, and 1, 2, 3, because EC3 is still in the ref's shirt for some reason at the bachelor party. 1, 2, 3, EC3 gives it back to him.
I'll do at the honeymoon. Like he walks in, it's like, hey baby, I got it back. I just checked the perimeter, and you just hear, oh, come into the bedroom, and it's like, honey, are you okay? It's like, oh, I'm sick. As I goes in and it's like goes see someone on the bed. He goes to turn on the light and it's all truth. Boom, grabs, rolls him up onto the bed. 1, 2, 3.
Or even crazier, Drake Maverick is standing at the podium where the priest is, and you see someone walk in the dress in the wedding gown, and it's obviously not his wife. And they're doing their vows. Like they go through the whole entire ceremony, and when it finally comes to "you may now kiss the bride," that's when he rolls him up, and out of nowhere there's a ref in the front row, dressed as a bridesmaid, rolls him up. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
They could have done so much, but
I mean it's still fun. It's good to see more movement with it and all, and other entertaining things. So overall, it was great. It looked like I seen the picture of the people in attendance. He had EC3, Braun Strowman. Must be good friends with Drake Maverick and all. Probably some more guys from the Impact days. Matt and his family. Probably Jeff may have also made it because of their time together in Impact and all.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure
Maxwell Hardy.
Yeah, he was there with
stole the title for a little bit.
And the shake hands to Maxwell, promising not to pin him on his wedding night, which is funny. But yeah, and then another wedding.
Like he goes to shake the hands, and it's like, but he like pulls out his other hands. It's like twisted there, and it's like psych, rolls him up, pops up, pulls off a mask. It was all truth.
Oh my god. That is so funny. Oh,
and it actually turns out he wasn't replacing Maxwell. He was actually Maxwell the whole time. It was a long con.
The longest con. One day, there will become a time where I need to be this kid and reveal myself to be our truth. I don't know when it's happened, but it will happen.
The fates told me that in a prophecy. They said when the planets align, I will know.
And the other wedding that happened this week was Nikki Cross and
Killian Dane getting married.
That's awesome.
Seemed like they went back to Scotland. They're
That's
hoping
really
to
sweet.
Get married. And yes, everyone looked good. All the both brides looked stunning in their wedding gowns. So it's a good, nice, happy day, and it's good to see love prospering in the wrestling.
It's always good to see that. And then let's quickly go down this final bit of news. It's the card for Stomping Ground. Let's see what we got here.
Let's not forget about the ticket sales, the poor ticket sales.
Oh yeah, but basically...
Why they eventually had to do 2-for-1 deals. Did you see that?
That's... wow.
Yeah, they had to do 2-for-1, even for the floor seats. They had to do 2-for-1.
Man, you and I could have gone where the crud is it this? Where is it? We could have gone to Tacoma, Washington, and just paid for one ticket just to see Stomping Ground.
Yeah, because they were basically half off if you buy 2 of them.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So let's go down this card. We have Bayley versus Alexa Bliss for the SmackDown Women's Championship. A match we've already seen, a feud we've already seen. At least this time, they're not treating Bayley like a child or an idiot. We have Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre, and their third match together. A lot of people are saying it's only the second match, but a lot of people are forgetting about the match they had with on Raw when the wild card happened. So yeah, this is their third match. This time Shane McMahon is probably going to be involved. Maybe, I don't know. Then we have
assume.
Yeah, and we have Becky Lynch versus Lacey Evans with that's for the Raw Women's Championship. Hopefully it's good. I think Lacey works really well with Becky, and yeah, she didn't do so good with Charlotte, but we saw her with other tall people before, and she works better with short people. She was with Natalia, I think, on the Women's Royal Rumble this past year, and she had a little bit of flops, but then she started getting better as the match went on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think she works better with just the smaller people versus the bigger ladies, the taller ladies. So
it's good because then that many tall women in there anyway. So
we have Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin for the Universal Championship, with a special guest referee to be announced at the show. Seth Rollins has been beating everybody up with a steel chair to make sure they do not accept this
this offer to become
this
the
offer.
referee.
Exactly. Thank you. But brain just wouldn't come up with that word. So interesting storytelling dynamic there. In a steel cage for the WWE Championship, we have Kofi Kingston versus Dolph Ziggler. For the United States Championship, we have Samoa Joe versus Ricochet. And then a tag team match that has absolutely nothing on the line. We have the New Day, which is Big E and Xavier Woods versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And then triple threat action for the Cruiserweight Championship. We have Tony Nese taking on Akira Tozawa and Drew Gulak. And then tag team wrestling SmackDown. We have Daniel Bryan and Rowan, the SmackDown champions, versus Heavy Machinery, which is Otis Djokovic and Tucker Knight. So yeah, a lot of interesting matchups. I'm not gonna say good because we're not entirely sure, but a lot of interesting matchups. Liam had to step out for a quick second, but he'll be right back up. So I'm just gonna give you my thoughts right quick. Yeah, I'm interested to see where it all goes. What if they're able to actually put on a show that surprises everybody. A lot of people are not looking forward to it. A lot of rematches in this card, but there's a possibility of doing something interesting here. And Liam's on his way up. He'll be able to give his thoughts on the card. But yeah, I think there's potential, but we'll see what they do. What do you think about this card?
I believe there is also some potential in some of the matches, but it's also some that don't feel like there's going to have a good ending to it, conclusive ending. And there's going to be some screwy finishes. So they've done better with the pay-per-views this year, so let's hope they keep it up.
Yeah, because we don't want to see bad wrestling. No one wants to see that as fans. So
I had to go check because it's getting so hot in here.
Yeah,
I went to go look. The thermostat was on econ mode, which is a mode that should be on when no one's in the house. So
I was wondering what was going on.
Yeah, so it wasn't
I didn't want to say
on.
anything on the podcast, but yeah. So I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm looking forward to this show, but I am gonna say I'm interested in seeing how it's gonna go.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it's gonna go too.
All right, and then
apparently you didn't know because it feels fantastic downstairs.
Yeah,
This feels bad up here.
Yeah. When I walked up here later, my girlfriend's here with us. So she came up the stairs with us, and she was like, "I'm gonna stay downstairs. It feels so much better down there." I was like, "Okay, that's cool." But yeah, so let's move on to the next segment, which is the best segment of the week. Which definitely sounds like we're just bragging about our amazing segments, because we are. But it's also because it's what we thought was the best segment in wrestling, whether it be match or promo of the week. What's yours?
Mine's going to be a match from Kazuna Road, the second night's main event. For both nights, it's been a lot of tag matches, and this is the same. It was a 10-man elimination match.
Ooh.
From there, and they actually have interesting rules. So it's the first time I've seen it in New Japan. But you can be eliminated by either pinfall or by being thrown over the top rope. Which, as it went through, I thought it was a good way to kind of keep people looking strong instead of having to take a pinfall to just get thrown over. So it did a good job with that. We had Chaos versus Suzuki-gun here. Team Chaos, we had Sho and Yo, who actually just the night before lost their titles, the tag titles, the junior heavyweight tag titles to El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori.
All right, interesting.
So they're no longer champions. But Sho and Yo, and I should also say that it was from nefarious means, so they weren't legitimately beat. But Sho and Yo, Taiji Ishimori, Tamahiro Ishii, Yoshihashi, and Kazuchika Okada. And then the versus Suzuki-gun represented by Yoshinobu Kanemaru, Taichi, Lance Archer, Zack Sabre Jr., and Minoru Suzuki. And I will also say the presence of Rocky Romero was really lost here, because he wasn't there. As I was saying, it was really, you could really feel that because I felt the night before I watched that match too. That was a good one. That tag match was like, I felt if Rocky was out there, he would have been able, the King of Sneaky Style would have been able to help him retain those titles, And here, you feel like he could do stuff, but either way, just giving props to Rocky. This was a really good matchup. You had a lot of storylines going out here. You had, for instance, Suzuki being upset that he's out of the tournaments, and going with that by being extra aggressive to people. They weren't saying on commentary how they want to really rough people up to try to maybe open a spot up, Like, I think they had a chance to eliminate Yoshihashi from just count out, and even though he's not really in there, but instead of eliminating from count out, he was thrown back in by Suzuki-gun because they were just trying to do as much damage as they could, So that was a interesting storyline played, and also ended up involving Red Shoes, who was upset about the constant cheating being there and the ganging up and double teaming and stuff, and Suzuki not respecting the rope breaks. So the second time there was a rope break and Suzuki was supposed to break it up, Red Shoes ended up going and kicking Minoru Suzuki, kicking and slapping him to break it up, and Suzuki actually struck the ref then, and he was disqualified and had to be pulled out by the Young Lions.
Those poor Young Lions.
Yeah, so that's one of the stories. And even like before the match, he was Okada. Suzuki-gun came out first. Okada was trying to do his normal pose where he goes to the corner in there, but Suzuki was put himself in between him and the corner. So I like that as a thing, but I also like the fact that Okada just went through with it anyways.
Yeah.
So he just like went and like was over Suzuki to try to do it, showing that kind of fighting for position there. Tamahiro Ishii versus Taichi, they still had their thing going on. When they were in their corners, Chaos was trying to decide who would go first, and then when Ishii saw that Taichi was going to take the first in there for his team, he just went and pushed everyone else out. He like grabbed them all and they pushed him out. It's like, I'm going, so that he can go in there. But Ishii just tagged out immediately, just despite Taichi's just tagged out immediately despite Ishii. So there's a lot of storylines there. They had a lot of storylines coming from Yoshihashi, as this was a big night for him. As you may have known or may not have known, he's been getting kind of a push as of late with getting wins over Zack Sabre Jr.
Yeah.
And he actually ends up being the lone survivor for his team and the winner.
Oh, wow.
Overall. There was a lot of... It took a long time before we got the first eliminations. And then there was quite a few eliminations from thrown over the top and from disqualification. Well, only one from disqualification. A lot more from being thrown over the top. That led to some cool things where people fighting over the apron. Both guys were over on the apron trying to fight to survive. And that also led to a lot of stuff with Lance Archer as well. helping hyping him up for the G1. He actually got to eliminate Okada for one thing, and he got to eliminate a few other people, and was basically going around as the beast that he is, very tall guy. But Yoshihashi was playing the underdog throughout. Really fought. He had on his tights to always to like get back up. You know, that was going to be his motto, and he did that a lot. He kept fighting out, and even though everyone else on his team was eliminated, especially through a lot of nefarious means, but still eliminated none the same. Oh, another one, Lance Archer eliminated both Yo and Sho basically at the same time.
Oh wow!
They were in there both fighting him, and he threw both of them out. Actually threw one out and then pinned Yo. So a pinned Sho actually. But it was a big night for Yoshihashi. The crowd was really behind him, chanting him on. And it was a big win for him, and I think it's a really great way to build him up. And that's when he called out Okada, gave him the mic to do the final send-off, but he called out Zack Sabre Jr., saying, I want to go for your title and your spot in the G1. So looks like they're going to match together. And then afterwards, in some of the interviews that I saw, they had the translator there to kind of give the basic idea what they're saying. Okada and Yo both put over Yoshihashi, saying that Yoshihashi gives them the strength to keep fighting. But yeah, it was a big thing for him, which is really great. It made him look strong, and had a lot of storylines going on here, a lot of reason for people to be there, and this was like a match that would be on a really good episode of Raw on the Go Home show, like something to really build up forward to a bigger match. And it was, and like I said, it's something that should be there. It's a really good one, really entertaining, and like I said, it's filled with a lot of good stuff. They also had the good match the night before the main event between Roppongi 3K and Bullet Club. But I think this one was just better because of the different storylines and all the guys putting in a different effort.
Sounds like I'm gonna have to go check that one out because that sounds like a fun match. This is a night 2, you said? And that's the main event?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was the 17th episode, episode 17.
And then
they do have all the matches individually as well as the whole show, so you can see them like either way.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna check that one out. So for mine, it's gonna be a surprising one. It's Dolph Ziggler versus Xavier Woods on their match on SmackDown. I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I thought they did a great job, and I was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn run in, attack the other two New Day members, a dive off the top turnbuckle to the floor to knock out Sami and Kevin. A lot of good back and forth, and then one of the coolest finishing super kicks we've seen in a while, when Xavier Woods was hung up on the rope in an execution style super kick, pull him in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3, Dolph Ziggler gets the win. I enjoyed a lot of it, and I love both of those guys' in-ring capabilities. So yeah, it was a fun match. Don't have a lot to say about it, other than that, because I missed the beginning of it. I just watched the escalation points. So, but what I did see, I really enjoyed. Oh, and I'm going to talk about Firefly Funhouse, because they're doing great stuff with it. If you've been keeping up with it on YouTube, every week they end up putting it there, and I think they now have the episode 1 through 5 all the way through. I'm interested to see if he premiered or debuts tonight, and the new Bray Wyatt gimmick is very interesting so far. All right, let's move on.
I feel like we should almost change the best segment of the week's name to "This Good Shit."
Well, we both know I'm not going to say that, so it has been revoked, denied. I'm sorry, good sir. You can say it.
Be disappointed.
You can say it, but That's not what the segment is called. I'm sorry.
That 10-man tag team match was good shit.
So moving on to the next segment, it is Are You Serious? It's where we take things from wrestling and we rant about it. We're not just doing WWE anymore. We're going all the way into the wrestling sphere because always bashing WWE week in and week out, it makes you feel really depressed that you're still watching it. So we're gonna go out and just the negative things about wrestling, and we just ran about it. For me, I'm gonna go. I know what I said, but I'm gonna go into the WWE again because I don't have anything outside of WWE right now, and that is why are they trying to petition for the next few WrestleManias at the same locations All Elite will be at? I don't know if you heard about this, but apparently WrestleMania has been trying to get into Chicago, Vegas, and Jacksonville. Where do we know these three cities? Obviously, these are the cities that have been all the buzz for All Elite Wrestling. And WWE is taking it serious. It's not like when TNA was around, they was like, yeah, whatever, we're okay. They have Hulk Hogan, whatever. They didn't really take all that competition serious until they had to, then they won. This time, right out the gate, they're taking it super serious. Not only are their own wrestlers tweeting about how amazing it is, and not only are the fans' reception to it very positive, they're breaking records for the amount of tickets sold in an amount of time. They're making a lot of money already, and there have been shots fired at WWE already from Tony Khan, Cody, and the like. So, John Moxley and Goldust as well, or Dustin Rhodes. All this happening, WWE usually wouldn't care. They'd make a silly character about that person and totally bury them. Nope, not this time. They're trying to get into those cities that All Elite is now known for. They're trying to put on better shows. They're trying to bury the wrestling scene out there. Because I don't feel like Seth Rollins' tweet was very genuine. I mean, come on. Look at all the great stuff in New Japan. That is, when it comes to wrestling, way better than your stuff, sir. I'm sorry. You can only sell your knee for so long. So yeah, that's just some of the things that I wanted to rant about WWE. Yeah, they're taking it serious, cool, but they're doing it in such a bratty, childish way. Which, yeah, I know Vince McMahon is a man-child. His former talent says that all the time. It's ridiculous. That's my rant. Your turn.
I would go to say in their defense that Chicago is a major city, so it's not insane. They've done WrestleMania from there before.
Yeah.
Jacksonville is questionable, but it's still in Florida, and it would make sense. And Las Vegas will actually be a pretty big destination because since they're building that new stadium there, it's definitely going to get a Super Bowl. So it also makes sense for that to be in that new stadium. So it could just be coincidence, or it could be pettiness. WWE hasn't been known to be a petty company, of course, along with a few others. Like Disney's been known to be petty, DreamWorks was petty. I mean, that was why they made Shrek, was out of pettiness. I love Shrek, but I mean that's what it was.
Yeah, a petty movie.
It's because the guy one of the guys who founded DreamWorks was fired from Pixar, so he was petty, of course. But they're known for petty companies, so it could also be. But could just also be coincidence. It's not really sure because they do have other cities involved in it. I didn't look at the full list, but
well, very true. I think obviously, like I said, it could be coincidence. But when it comes to Vince McMahon and his pettiness, I'm not putting it past him.
I was thinking what you were saying about firing shots from like Cody to them, and so you thought back, their Vince's idea of firing shots back at Cody is Triple H to walk out and sledgehammer a husky.
Please don't kill the husky. Alright, your rant, good sir.
Oh, my rant?
Yes, sir.
It's also going to be on WWE.
Okay.
But it comes back to something I said earlier, back when I said that it was at least good that out of all the companies that are trying to hop onto the Pride bandwagon to try to get good advertisement off of supporting something by just adding rainbows to it, at least WWE didn't do that right after with this Saudi show. And then it was like the next week that they came out with the photo shoot from Pride and are now selling Pride merchandise. So like a week, or maybe, I think it was just a week removed
from the Saudi show.
From the Saudi show, working for a company, and it's not just. This is what people have to understand. It's not just going to a country, because they've gone to other countries where women weren't allowed to wrestle, or that kill or outlaw homosexuality. But it's the fact that they were hired by the government to do those things, which is what causes the problem. Because you go do that in countries if you choose to do that. It's not like you can really help it, and it's not really doing it will just punish normal people, not necessarily people involved. But this is working for the government, so you go from working from a homophobic government to trying to sell this Pride merchandise and this photo shoot to try to make money off of homosexuals and people of the LGBT community. As a woman.
It's
like many of the advertisement is disingenuous and just marketers trying to hop on to something to get more popularity for them.
Yeah.
Just to get more attention, but not actually caring. But this is even worse because of what's behind it, and it's just really disgusting.
Yeah. Well, and you say that it's just a coincidence. It's all about money for him and pettiness. Money and pettiness. And that's where our rant is, because there's so much more to life than that. So much more. Let's get some happiness going, and let's book it ourselves. It's where we take whatever the crowd we want, and we book it ourselves. And yeah, what should we book? We really think we at least come prepared for a lot of these things.
The good news is that since there's two of us, we can book it international as well and do other things outside WWE.
We can.
Yes.
And I have the perfect book it experience for us. We're going to take New Japan, right? And we are going to place top 10 biggest names that are currently in New Japan. We're going to throw them in a Disney movie that actually works for their characters. Well, with all the new Disney stuff that's still coming out, Toy Story 4 just came out, I think. Aladdin before that, Lion King down the line, Frozen 2 down the line.
Hey, can
it's
I ask
a big Disney year.
What would be the better matchup? Orange Cassidy versus Ryusuke Taguchi, or Orange Cassidy versus Minoru Suzuki?
Orange Cassidy versus what is his name?
And we do end up bringing
the
him
comedy dude.
Yano?
Toru Yano. I think Orange Cassidy versus Toru Yano would be amazingly funny.
I wonder what Taguchi It's either Yano or Taguchi, either one of the comedy ones, but I just want to go Taguchi. But I think it'd also be funny to see him against Minoru Suzuki.
Mm-hmm. That would be.
Yes.
Especially once he gets his hands in his pockets. Suzuki would, I think, react funnier than what Tommy Dreamer did. Even though Tommy Dreamer's reaction was great too.
And we bring him up a lot because YouTube brings them up a lot.
Yeah, I keep getting Orange Cassidy stuff. So I guess YouTube wants us to push this guy.
That's Google's favorite wrestler.
It is. Orange Cassidy. I ended up telling one of my coworkers about how, do you ever feel like something or someone is watching us and listening to everything we say? Because we were talking about this guy, Orange Cassidy, and then not even a week later, his matches are popping up in our Google search feeds. Like, oh, you should watch this. We know you want to. It's like, what the heck is this?
To be fair, I was getting those in my feed before I even mentioned it to you.
Oh my god.
It's just for no reason, really. But going even beyond that, there was times where, like for instance, when they had the debut of the information of the new Pokemon game, Sword and Shield.
Yeah.
They had one new Pokemon, a starter called Groki. That's a grass monkey.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I was thinking after seeing that, you know, the song Brass Monkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking that grass monkey, that funky monkey, and just thinking of that. And then when I got home that night, I just thought about it. I didn't say anything out loud or search anything about that song or say Brass Monkey. Later on that night, in my YouTube suggestions was Brass Monkey.
That is a little bit scary. It's like, how does this thing in our minds, man?
That's not even the first time that's happened where I just thought of something and later got the suggestion on it. I was like, what?
Right.
The good news was that when I went to that and looked at the comments, other people also went to that song for the same reason. Is it like Roki Gang?
Yeah, I was more of a Scorch Bunny fan more when it comes to the look and stuff, and a lot of people like the Grass Monkey a lot more.
Roki Gang for life.
Yeah. However, because I was like, oh wow, I like this look. All the people that I follow, or at least not all of them, because some of them did all this as well if you search for it, but all the ones that were suggested to me were Scorch Bunny stuff. And I was like, what the heck is this? Okay, nope, taking that off. They're in our heads, man. I don't even know how they got there.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's you know what, let's be a little bit more serious. Let's book comedy wrestlers with other serious wrestlers to see in a kind of a war pay-per-view.
Man, you do that right after I thought of a good suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
That was Okada as Scrooge McDuck, because they're the Rainmaker.
He'd be a part of.
Scrooge McDuck would definitely be part of Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Where would Donald Duck be? He has a hot temper, so probably Suzuki-gun?
Could be. It's definitely not Tranquilo.
Nope. I think the most Tranquilo when it comes to all the Disney characters is Goofy. But he's a complete and total klutz. So he could be LIJ, but he could be Taguchi Japan as well.
Okay. So we had a first one, Orange Cassidy versus Minoru Suzuki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, who would end up winning that? Minoru Suzuki. I think should definitely win that one. Let's get the Gentleman Jervis up in here. And who's a good person he could end up facing?
Trying to think of someone that comes off as grumpy and doesn't like hugs.
Bailey. She has given up hugging, apparently.
Ishii.
He's not a hugger?
He's a headbutter.
Hmm.
That's how his family shows affection for each other. Just give headbutts to each other.
Hmm.
They,
I didn't know he was Samoan.
oh, he doesn't have to be. They build up their heads to face Samoans.
Ah, I see. Gotcha.
That's how you build up your skull. It's by breaking it every week.
Mm-hmm. Kids, please don't try that at home. But yeah, that'd be an interesting match. I'm guessing you would have Ishii go over.
Yes.
Let's get Toru Yano. Who is he facing? Who's a serious person that he can end up facing?
Brock Lesnar.
Let's not kill Toru Yano. Oh my gosh.
It'd be funny because Toru Yano will go out there. He's going to fight Paul Heyman. But Toru Yano ends up winning. Well, it comes to a draw because Toru Yano comes out with a new advertisement because he's going to make a video game based off of Brock Lesnar's life.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to promote it for him. In the middle of the match, he pulls that out, and they come to an agreement, and he becomes the new manager for Brock Lesnar. And he turns on Paul Heyman.
And they just walk off together, looking at all the stuff. Brock Lesnar grabs his boombox, and they just leave.
The video game was going to be like a rhythm game based around boomboxes. It wasn't even going to be about wrestling.
So that would totally get Brock Lesnar on board because he loves his boomboxes.
Yeah.
It's the only thing he's super passionate about. Alright, let's get the B team up in here. Who are they facing?
As a 3-man unit, I would assume.
But just the two guys.
Oh, just two. Oh, yeah, that's right. There was two. I'm gonna think 3. Yeah, just 2 guys. So we can find a big, nice tag team for them to go up against.
I think it'd be interesting to see them go up against Evil and Sonata. My personal preference there. What do you think?
That sounds good. Either that or Killer Elite Squad because Killer Elite Squad's huge and but they're all around a lot.
Killer Elite Squad is Suzuki-gun, you said?
Yeah. How about this one? Kenny Omega versus DDT Pro Kenny Omega.
How does that even work?
We'll make it work. We'll make it work. Yes. It's Kenny Omega versus a comedy version of himself.
Oh my gosh. It's gonna have 6.5 stars.
Only 6.5?
Yes. But see, it's not the Tokyo Dome, so
No.
it can't get the full 7. And then, yeah. There we go. That's an interesting. And of course, Comedy Kenny gets the win for somehow. We'll figure it out. Probably going to be a lot of post.
It'd be from a run-in from Comedy Kota Ibushi. And then we have a run-in from Serious Kota Ibushi. But then Serious Kota Ibushi abandoned Serious Kenny Omega because of him feeling abandonment issues because of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And Comedy Kenny Omega leaves with both Comedy Kota Ibushi and Serious Kota Ibushi.
Yeah, that's our comedy book it yourselves. What do we call this show?
I don't know.
Let's call it.
Things. What the hell?
Insanely. What is this? Alright, so moving on to the next one. It's what do you think? That's where we take a question and we ask our fellow compadres, what do you think? And Liam Landry, what do you think about the current, what it kind of feels like, the current scrambling from WWE and their creative?
It could, a mixed bag type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it helped make pay-per-views a little bit better, but at the same time, I don't think they're getting to the core of the problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because it seems like their problems is, you know, people aren't really into it. Okay, let's just spread more. A lot, like they say, like people think we're not building enough talent, and their idea is, okay, let's spread the talent that we do have over even more time, and build up less talent. And they're like, well, they really want to see, interesting heel dynamic, and it's like, did you say Shane McMahon? So at a lot of points, it seems like they're answering with bad ideas, but it's good to see that they're responding in ways.
Yeah.
And I do think that in some developments they have gotten better. In other ways, they have gotten worse.
Yeah, I mean, we can see with their comedy stuff, letting the wrestlers do their own shticks for the 24/7. It's a lot of fun. It is really funny, and
which is either a good sign or a sign that they gave up and don't have enough time to book that, so they just give it to them.
Hey, if they gave up and gave it to the wrestlers who are doing a lot of great funny stuff with it, do we even need these kind of writers? You know. Let's move on to Firefly Funhouse. It was a lot of fun, and apparently that was all Bray Wyatt himself with very little Vince. I don't even know if Vince knew about Devil Vince Puppet before it even happened. So, yeah, these guys are very creative.
I saw it and was like, that's some good shit.
Probably. But
you
see these
see
guys.
the meme of it with the devil puppet and it's good shit under it.
Missed that meme. But yeah, I mean, we see these guys with a lot of creative talent, and the fact that they're not allowed to utilize it, or even with their current personas, is really upsetting and frustrating. And seeing what these guys can actually do when they're given the opportunities to, and it's actually really bloody good, tells you something, I think. They spent a whole month of Drake Maverick trying to find R-Truth, putting out wanted posters, asking around, finally coming up with a plan to dress as Carmella and get the title off of him.
Putting a lot of money into it because fake boobs are expensive.
Exactly. So they did a lot in a whole month leading up to his eventual title reign. Why can't WWE actually do stuff like that? Take the time, like slow down. You're not in a rush. You've already won. Now slow down, take the time to build stars. Yeah, there are going to be times where your stars leave you for different opportunities. Good. It means you did your job. And now you can build up a new guy and a new guy. It's not like you're ever going to be devoid of talent to build up. So that's my take on it. To your counter question. Do you have a different question, or?
Yeah. What match are you most anticipated for G1? With the blocks as they're laid out currently.
Drat. I know I mentioned Okada. I know I mentioned Okada versus Will Ospreay that I'm really looking forward to. But also, Tai Chi is Block B, right?
Yes.
It'd be interesting to see Tai Chi's antics with Jon Moxley. As well as Zack Sabre Jr. versus Will Ospreay is really interesting as well. Will Ospreay versus Kenta. Holy crud. Hard-hitting guy versus super duper meticulous grappling wrestler. That should be very interesting.
I didn't say it before, but I can tell you what's going to be the first night of matches. Kota versus Kenta.
Oh gosh.
Okada
Someone's dying.
Tanahashi. Lance Archer versus Will Ospreay. Evil versus Bad Luck Fale, and Sonata versus Zack Sabre Jr. Now, Sonata and Zack Sabre Jr. had one of the best matches of the last G1 together.
And then Sonata versus Evil should be really interesting since they're taking it completely serious. That one's going to be a really cool match too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so many good ones. I'm looking forward to the whole tournament, to be honest.
And a lot of first-time matchups.
Also, Naito versus Takagi, LIJ brothers against each other on the other side. I'm interested for that too. So I'm interested for this whole thing. I can't really pick one because every time you say, oh, Jeff Cobb versus Taichi, I'm like, ooh, that should be interesting. Jeff Cobb versus Moxley, that should be interesting. Lance Archer versus Evil, that should be interesting. So every single time you say a name and then who is a potential that they will wrestle, it's just like, I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that. Like, all the combos are really, really good.
Okada and Sonata also had some really good matches with the New Japan Cup.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
And then the show right after that as well. They had a rematch for the title. So
yeah, I'm interested for this whole tournament. Should be really interesting. And it's time for the mailbag. It's our final segment, and it's where we answer questions that we heard around the world, around in our comments, around and anywhere basically, since no one emails us questions anymore.
Yeah, one I heard, maybe you heard as well, was about the idea of picking a wrestling family. Have you heard that one? From Stephen Lawson. And it's like pick a mom, a dad, an uncle, crazy uncle, and a grandpa, and some siblings.
A mom and dad, an uncle, crazy uncle, a grandpa and a grandma, and some siblings.
Yep.
Like 3 siblings.
Any number, really.
Okay.
I think what was it? I think Steve did for siblings. He had Ruby Wright and the Singh brothers. I think Lawson also had 2 because he had Bailey and the Good brothers.
Let me see. A good. I don't want to go obvious with the dad being Triple H because that's too obvious. So this is going to be a tough family. Okay, this is going to be one of the toughest families, and the dad is Minoru Suzuki. If you are in this wrestling family with Suzuki, if you're not doing your part, you're going to get stomped on. If you're slacking, he's gonna backhand you to next Tuesday. So Minoru Suzuki is definitely the dad, and the mother.
And for the record, as it goes, we're gonna say in kayfabe as they are.
Yeah, and as the mother, there's only one woman. There's 2 women out there that has the toughness of a Minoru Suzuki, but I'm gonna pick the obvious one here, and that's gonna be Asuka. She actually wrestled Minoru Suzuki. The other one would have been Toni Storm because she cosplayed as Minoru Suzuki, which was so funny. But yeah, Asuka. If Minoru Suzuki is getting a little bit crazy and he's not doing his part or he's just being a bit of a jerk, Asuka's gonna whip him back in his shape really well. And that should be really funny. The uncle is going to be Tetsuya Naito. He's just a cool uncle. He's so tranquilo. He doesn't care. The crazy uncle, though, is going to be Kota Ibushi. Because whenever they get into it, they're brothers. Whenever they get into it, they're about to kill each other. And then whenever they're not together, Tetsuya Naito, he's pretty normal. He's chill. He's fun. He'll do some wrestling. He'll be having a good time. Kota Ibushi's still trying to kill himself, like with his other competitors. So he's definitely the crazy uncle here. Then we're gonna go to the grandpa here. Someone who raised Minoru Suzuki with an iron fist. That's right, it's the Iron Sheik. I don't know why. It just makes sense to me in my head. And then the grandma, we're gonna do someone who definitely has the respect of being one of the elders in the business. We're gonna go Mei Young because she gave him all the love that she could, but whenever sexual chocolate came into the picture, she left the dad. She had a baby with the other guy. The guy.
Does that mean you're related to the hand?
Yeah, he is technically related to the hand. The dad. And then for the siblings, the young ones, the ones coming up, it's gonna be Will Ospreay. It's gonna be Zack Sabre Jr. And it's gonna be Tony Storm. There we go, because we got to bring her back into it. So those three are the siblings there, and that's my wrestling family.
Man, it seems like you're giving yourself a rough go there with a father like that. That's good.
What is your family?
That's good that it changed around because it seemed like it's all wanting to be those things where it's like, well, he must have been adopted then. It's like everyone else was Asian up to a point. Okay, so.
Well, I knew how to do like older people. So Iron Sheik, he ruled with an iron fist. Mae Young was tired of it, left him, and that brought Suzuki to be this hard man he is today.
Okay, so it goes with the parents first.
Yes.
We're gonna have as father, you know, I want a father with a lot of money, so we're gonna need to go with the Rainmaker, Kazuchika Okada. A lot of the money in there, and go for a mom. We go for a woman who is a mom, and everyone already loves her. It's Mickey James.
Oh,
yes.
That's a good mom.
Yes.
She is Monday Night MILF, or at least she tried to be.
If she could actually be on there.
Yeah. Right.
Instead of just milk and cookies. So we have that. As grandparents, I'll go with Tomohiro Ishii as the grandpa. And then grandma would be someone that would really go with Tomohiro Ishii, go with Aja Khan.
Okay.
Because they both seem grumpy people. They like to beat people up. Go for an uncle and a crazy uncle. One uncle that would be the cool uncle. Like you like, and he coaches your little league team and stuff, and it's gonna be Titus O'Neil. Gonna be a cool uncle everyone likes, and the other uncle, this crazy uncle, is All Truth, which everyone still likes, but he is crazy.
Yeah.
Then when it comes to siblings, you have older brother Kota Ibushi. The older brother, you're gonna have to look up to. You have to try to follow Kota Ibushi. That's gonna be pretty rough. You know, he's gonna do super well in school and everyone loves him. So that's gonna be pretty difficult. But you're also going to have to deal with attention-loving sister of Alexa Bliss. Yes.
Interesting. It's a good family.
Yeah, good family.
I feel like mine is very stickler family.
Mine's a lot more fun, you know.
Yeah.
Got a
Well,
lot
I
more
mean,
money
I
to go
have
through.
Tetsuya Naito as my uncle. Come on.
Yeah.
That's a cool uncle. And then I have Kota Ibushi as my uncle, so I guess that technically means I have you as an uncle.
Yeah, we're related. Yeah.
Oh, snap. So you're my uncle, Drat. And then,
So then
my
one of my
auntie,
other brothers is-
Alexa Bliss.
So I have another sister of Asuka. Then
There
go
you
with that. Yes.
And then also, yeah.
And Naito is from your father's side, so.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So I mean, with with a combination of Kota Ibushi, Alexa Bliss, and Mickey James. All of the friends will want to come to my house, no matter which way they go.
I mean, isn't that technically how it is right now?
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a good one. What has been the hardest match to watch, in your opinion? Whether it be because of injuries or because of just made you uncomfortable or just plain out boring and bad. What has been the hardest one to watch?
I don't know. I mean, you had that one with Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. Where no one paid attention to it.
Yeah. Are you ready for that one live?
That's how no one paid attention to it. I had to point out to other people that Roman Reigns was bleeding.
Wow.
Yeah. I had to beat it like that. I was like, yeah, I think he was bleeding. And this was by the time he was already covered completely in blood. So that's how long it went before we noticed it. We were too busy staring at beach balls. They were going all over the place.
And then, for me, it was another Roman Reigns match. Roman Reigns versus, what was the person's name?
Was it Samoa Joe?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe. That was just boring. So slow and so long. We had a long day already. So then that happened at the main event, and I remember the three of us were just like, can we go now? This is so bad. I'm pretty sure DJ did leave in Dreamland. As he tends to do. We still love EDJ. Another one when it comes to injuries though, Takahashi versus Dragon Lee. That one was super hard to watch when Takahashi slammed on his head.
Yeah, though overall it was fun to watch because we didn't know the seriousness of the
but that move, I think that was the first time where a lot of times you don't react all that much unless it's something major, but that time you were just like, oh my gosh. I was like, my neck hurts. Okay, so think of this triple threat match. Takahashi versus Tetsuya Naito versus Kota Ibushi. Who leaves with their neck intact?
No one. not even the refs.
Ooh!
Somehow get involved. And the Young Lions.
Or the front row.
Right. They just do a super move and everyone's neck just snaps.
It's one of those things that America has to ban or censor. Like people can't even watch it online. It's so bad. Because even your neck will break.
It's the Porygon seizure attack of New Japan. You ever knew about that?
Or, I almost said Scooby-Doo. Pokemon.
Yeah, it's technically unfair because it wasn't actually Porygon, it was Pikachu. But since Porygon was in the episode, they banned that episode and then never showed Porygon again.
Oh my gosh.
That's one of the lost episodes, along with one that had giant Pokemon destroying the buildings. That came out that would have come out the year or so after 9/11.
Wow.
And one that involved guns and pointing guns at 10-year-old characters. So
I know there was an episode of Digimon.
That's the episode that he got all the Tauroses. So if you ever wondered why Ash has so many Tauroses, it's because they got banned. It was a banned episode.
Yeah, there's a season of Digimon that ended up having a bunch of buildings on fire and exploding and stuff during that time as well. And they played it because it was Fox Kids, and Fox Kids is it wasn't for kids.
Like as long as it wasn't a rice ball, we don't care.
It wasn't for kids dubbing. It was Saban's companies, and even in his Power Ranger stuff, there's times where he treats kids with respect, and that's what they did here. They showed all of it. When Disney had the rights to play reruns because of the controversial nature of it all, that was heavily censored, which is a shame.
Did they ever say if that was completely legit about that thing with Lilo and Stitch? I remember they came out. Do you know what I'm talking about? When they apparently leaked the actual climax of Lilo and Stitch, and instead of a spaceship, they were flying a plane through the city, and they said that they took it out, and then someone like showed them like back and forth, showing how they just kind of took it and redid it. I didn't think it was real, but I wasn't sure.
I don't know.
I don't know if it was ever confirmed. Because I saw
It'd
news.
be hard for me to believe it was real, though.
I saw
depending
news.
on how the movie went. But
Yeah, I saw news sites that like went with it though, and were having it as actual articles, so I never figured it out.
The only way we'd know is if we were able to get an interview with the people who made that movie. Next question is a big one.
Find out
Obviously,
it was actually Al Qaeda. Find out the movie was actually made by Al Qaeda.
Oh my gosh. But we have to ask the question here. Who do you think is going to win Block A? Who do you think is going to win Block B? Who's winning overall? Who's beating and will they beat Okada?
Block B, I will go with I'll go with Naito.
Mm-hmm.
Naito for Block B. In Block A, I will go with Kenta. Let's build him strong. So Kenta versus Naito. And Naito to win it all, because I think he's going to be a dual champion like he wants to be.
So you think he will meet that goal?
Yes.
Okay. I really like that sentiment because I really like Naito. I'm going to do something a little bit different here. I'm going to go Ishii to win Block B. And then I'm going to go with something that hasn't happened before. Okada winning Block A. Ishii then gets the win. Now, Ishii has a win over Okada, and he's about to face him at Wrestle Kingdom. That would be pretty cool storytelling, I think. Really, really cool. With a lot of implications of, oh my gosh, will Ishii end up finally being the heavyweight champion here? And I'm going to say yes, because he's paid his dues, and he deserves it. And you gave me Naito, so I'm going to give you Ishii. There we go. And any final questions that you know of?
Here's what I was thinking of. Did you hear about the Ups and Downs match?
I have, yes.
Yes. So, if you can make a weird stipulation match like that, what would it be?
It would be multi-man match, and it would be elimination based. Because I really like elimination stuff. So
how about multi-man elimination? It's called the Pee Wee Herman match, where you get eliminated by saying the secret word.
Then wouldn't you want to keep your mouth shut then?
Well, it changes every time. And your opponent knows which word is yours. So each team will get their own, and they'll have to try to trick the others into saying the word.
It's not much of a wrestling match, though.
Okay, well, come up with something better then.
Okay, so I like 10. 10's a good, strong number for elimination. And no, I'm changing it. It's gonna be 15. 15 men all around the ring, and it's gonna be elimination based and points based. So the more eliminations you get, the more points you get. Everyone's on the ring. Two people in the ring, 13 surrounding, and you can tag yourself in and out if you see fit, because you want to get that pin. You want to break up a pin if it's happening, because even if they get eliminated, you're not getting a point. The most points wins. It's something you've mentioned before outside of the podcast, and I think it'd be really cool idea to bring into something we haven't seen before. And then when it comes to the final two, the one who gets the final pin gets a little bit points boost to make sure it's not just a complete wash. Like if one guy gets 14, like all of the eliminations, obviously he's gonna win. But if one is like at 5 and the other one's only at 3, he can get that final win to get that final 3 points. And it gives that whole, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? Or you could put in a complete beast like Braun Strowman and just get all the eliminations. Or you could put in the complete beast and the only elimination he gets is the final one, which is the final 3 points, where he doesn't win the whole match, which is an interesting concept of it gives like this whole interesting dynamic to psychology and how do I make it out of this game the ultimate winner. What do you think?
Sounds good. Sounds like it can work.
I think it'd be really fun. Yeah, I just really like elimination-based stuff because it feels a lot more real when it comes to multi-man matches. That's just me, though. You ready to sign out?
Yes.
All right, it's time to sign out. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Please comment down below about everything that we talked about today and let us know your thoughts and opinions on them as well. We'd really like to hear it. Don't forget to give us all of those sexy, sexy likes afterwards.
And the unsexy ones.
After you do that, take this video and all of our videos and share it to all of your friends.
And enemies.
After you do that, you might as well, we really would appreciate it, subscribe to the channel so that way you are part of the Smarky family. And then ring that notification bell because
you want to get notified for when we go live for this very podcast stream with the Smarky family every Sunday at 1:30 Central Time. And it goes in the PM. We're not doing this in the AM, obviously.
Exactly. Unless you're from another country.
And well, it definitely won't be Central Time.
Exactly.
But anyways, yeah, get notified for when we put up other videos or polls, info, things like that. And you can also go into our onto our page and look at the related channels into there and check out the other channels like the Skeleton Productions or the Sports Enthusiast League. And go subscribe to those if they interest you. And also follow us on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at Liam_SWA.
Follow me on Twitter at IsaJ_STP. And thanks again so much for watching. Until next time, it will be awesome. See you later, guys.